Blueberries are still looking fantastic. Still so many. Here we are, July the 21st. Whew, won't be long. We'll be calling July done. And I'm thinking we'll still have blueberries. Yep, it's looking that way. And I'm getting ready to get them where they're all off. Whenever that is. It's looking like that may be middle of August or even towards the end. This year. Yeah, but they've been so full. It's bending my little blueberry trees over. But we needed to do some restaking anyway. So as soon as the berries get off, lighten up the limbs, that's exactly what we'll be doing. Surely we will. Whew. They are sweet, but we've been getting rain. But we haven't got any the last 2 days. But they're saying, oh, later today. Yeah, probably late afternoon. Early evening hours, up and through the night. Some's a coming our way. But for now, we've had plenty. Some days, way too much. What you up to there, Mr. Gray? You gonna head over there in the shade? I don't blame you. Well, hello there, friends and family. Didn't see you sneak up on me as usual. Mr. Gray alerted me to. Said I might want to look up. But I am so glad you came on by. And it's been a while since we've done a garden walkabout. And since I just finished up with my midday watering, you know, that chore we do here in the deep south during this amazing heat, yeah. Or we'll lose it all. But that's finished, so pardon my appearance. Let's take a look and do a little short walkabout. Well, nothing's ever short with me, is it? And see how my garden's growing. And maybe you'll tell me how your garden's growing wherever you are in this whole big wide world of ours. Okay? Appreciate it. Come on, let's take a walk. Mr. Gray, you gonna walk with me? No. Don't blame you, buddy. He shook his head. No, but like I say, the blueberries, they're just doing fantastic. And I just can't stop. You know, every time I walk by, I got to get some. And then, of course, there'll be water this evening if it don't rain. And we'll be doing more picking in the morning. So here we are. We're at the south side garden bed. And it's looking a little tattered in some of my plantings. Some are doing better than others. But as you know, we've been going through a devastating heat wave. We had been going through a drought, but for the most part, now for the last 3 weeks, solid, we haven't been in a drought. We've been on the flip side of the monsoon season. As strange as that might sound. But let's take a look at the little lunchbox pepper. I can't find no peppers on it, but it's surviving. And it's got plenty of blossoms, so there's always hope. But something to note, and you'll see this on all my peppers, the small spots, you know, that is pepper leaf spot. And it's a bacterial disease, not viral or fungal. We've just been keeping it at bay with our H2O2 magic sauce, as we call it. Yep, 12 tablespoons per gallon of water, simple as that, and spray it on. But yep, it's a reoccurring issue, and it's real common in areas of high humidity, hey, like the deep south. And it will drop the leaves, but overall the plant looks fine. We still have one little scraggly sunflower left. It's not giving up. But hey, the sweet banana pepper, let me show you something. Yeah, look up here. It's starting to get peppers on it. Yeah, we're thankful. See, look at there. There's a really nice one. So it's coming along nicely too. We've got it through the heat wave so far, but there'll be plenty more as the year progresses, because normally July is our hottest month, as well as August. And in some years past, September has even surpassed August. The cucumbers have been just amazing. In fact, sometime during this video, I'll show you in the house just how amazing they have been. But they're looking a little tattered now, more than I would like. Got some yellowing of leaves. You're going to be seeing some little brown drops on there. That would be nice for poo-poo. Yeah, let me show you something right over here. I'm going to snake through this ladder. Excuse me. You can see them. Little bitty brown deposits on the leaves. That's because somewhere up this here ladder and on the plants are some more caterpillars. We're continuously picking them off. Primarily from over here in our bean plant, which we'll talk about in a second. But back to the cucumbers. You can see the yellowing lower leaves, and she's looking a little sparse. Then we get up here into the canopy, and if you look closely, there's several cucumbers up there. One right about there, one there. There's more up in there. Oh, here's a nice one starting to finish up here. Some more there. I'm not going to count them. You can count them. Down here on the lower portions, there's a nice one. We've got two more right there. Another one snuck up under there. Yep. Even one right over here. And these are delish. So juicy. Almost have a sweetness to them. And to date, since I picked the first one, I think I'm now on 25 that I've picked so far. I've actually got 2 full bags sitting cooling in the refrigerator now. And as I just showed you, there's so many more. Even though the vines aren't looking so great. The older leaves are starting to yellow. And later after this video, I'll be trimming them off. Sort of kept them on there just to show all of y'all. But yep, as you know, I trim mine off. It keeps everything going. Or at least that's what I've seen. Now something else I'm seeing in these cucumbers is you're going to see it's almost like a silvery cast on the leaves. And then it's turning just a light white to yellow. Well, if you look on the back, and I know the camera won't pick it up, that's almost surely from spider mites. Yeah, little tiny mites on the back side of your leaves, and they will suck the life out of them. And what are we going to do for them? Well, I'm going to trim the leaves off and dispose of them. If they continue, then I'll mix up some soapy water. Oh, about a tablespoon per gallon is what I do. Or no, I'll take that back. It's a teaspoon. Whew, that would have been sudsy. And I spray it on them. And I mean, it can be any dishwashing soap that you prefer. I like to use Ivory. Some people like Dawn. It's whatever you want. But Ivory, it's all natural. How can you go wrong? Some people use that Castile soap. Whatever makes you happy. But I use 1 teaspoon per gallon. Seems to work just fine. And kill those little, almost microscopic bugs. Even if you can't see them, you can see what they're doing. And us old folks, yeah. It's hard to see the little tiny things in life anymore. But our yellow crookneck squash here, looking pretty healthy. It was starting to have some issues, but we've been spraying it with the H2O2. Keep that knocked down, because powdery mildew will jump on them before you even know it. But let's look on down in here. Right there. You can probably see it. Right there. Another squash. Yep. Nice one too. But you also see the continuing problem where, yeah, the squash forms and it shrivels up and dies even before the blossom opens up. I'm still attributing that to heat stress, even though probably this winter I'll spend more time and research it more in depth, and maybe I can find another cause. But either way, the only way I'm getting squash is on the occasion where they finally make it past this stage here and the blossom opens, and then I've been hand pollinating, because every time I try to leave it up to nature, so far nature has let me down. So I've been intervening. So far, you know, after I've taken care of the plant, she's smiling. Hey, what can you ask for? But the beans, they've been all but a trap plant. They've been a trap for caterpillars, all types of different insects, but mostly armyworms and other caterpillar species. And they had yet to blossom. You can see they look rather ragged. Leaves have been all chewed up. They're yellowing, which is a natural thing that beans will do over time. They've got themselves some spider mite issues with the white. So we're gonna have to hit them with the soap. And just look at all the caterpillar droppings. They're everywhere. I'm sure you can see them. And they had yet to blossom. But here now, on the 21st of July, there they are, the first blossoms. So it does look like they'll make some beans if I can keep them alive. We're going to give it our best shot. We had to ease down that ladder. Now we had some good news to give you on our celebrity tomato plant over here. And it was our first tomato on it. You're going to see it right here. But you're also going to see that it looks like, you know, there's been a cave forming in it. Well, that's not natural. And this happened overnight. This was looking beautiful on my last round yesterday early evening. Nothing had happened to it. But then this morning, this is what I found. Something's been eating at it. And I kept searching and searching till I found him. And he's right up here. You see him? That nice brown caterpillar? Yep. He was the one that had his way with my first tomato on this celebrity. So I'm highly disappointed in him. And we're just going to take him off there. And most likely, if my memory serves me correct, this is what's referred to as a cutworm caterpillar. Yeah. I could not possibly be wrong on that. Well, maybe I am, but it doesn't matter. It's a brown caterpillar that ate my first tomato on this plant after all this time, a baby in it. So hey, close your eyes, cover your ears. It's got to go away. And I kept looking, thinking there may be more over here. You know, in all reality, the birds, they do get some of the caterpillar. Uh-oh, I see another one. Do you? Right here. Yep. Must be his brother. There may be more. I'll come back here in a little bit and spend some quality time looking for more caterpillars, I guess. That's such a shame. All this time, 2.5 months, finally get a nice looking tomato, and then the caterpillars got it. Oh, you can't live without nature, and sometimes you can't live with it. But our second crookneck squash over here is also looking fairly nice. Yeah. Let me show you. Right there. Another yellow crookneck squash. That'll make 2. And that's enough to make up a mess for me. One of my favorite dishes. And if I think about it, and y'all stop by, I'll show you how. But here's a prime example of what keeps happening. See right here? Yep, small squash. It's yellow, but you can notice it shriveled up and it died. And now it's got some black fungus among us growing on it. We don't want that. And that's why it's best to pick these off as soon as they start shriveling. Just throw it as far as we can. But other squashes are developing, but this one here is already started to do what they do. Yep. Start withering away, wrinkling up, and that blossom has yet to open. Our one little soybean plant over here, orphan, finally it's climbing up its pole. It's been munched on too by the army worms. Looks like it's got a little spider mite going on with it. Whew. We're gonna have to mix up that soap spray and get to it once y'all leave for the day. And this one here, you know, our Kentucky Wonder rattlesnake pole bean hybrids, it is climbing up the TV antenna pole. Magoo, are you relaxing? Magoo, you relaxing, buddy? You are. Okay. You just relax. Yep, still got food, still got water. Yeah, this time of year, got flies. Yeah, it's the thing now in the deep south. Magoo, I'm not gonna bother you, buddy. I know it's your midday siesta. I'm thinking about maybe taking a little hour nap myself. Appreciate, reminding me. Check our little weather station. 90 degrees, 70% humidity. Not extremely hot for the deep south, but nowhere where we'd like to have it. 85 and 50%. Ooh, that'd be almost like being in heaven. Let's head her on down to the south side fence, why don't we? See what we got going on down there. Time to mow again. So over here we've got our 2 pumpkin plants grown by the fence that we're going to let run down by the fence. They put on some more leaves and are looking fine. And yes, we've been watering them on the days that it don't water, or the days that it don't rain. Sometimes the mind and the mouth just don't cooperate. And these have been watered today. And should we not get that rain that's forecasted, they'll get a little drink before I tuck them in to go to sleep tonight. Not a lot. Just enough to wet their whistle, as all the plants will. Our table A squash up here from Hoss Tools is starting to cover up the whole planter. Really starting to take off, it is. It's not quite binding yet, but it won't be long. Looking fine. Our cantaloupes, well, they're just spreading out everywhere. Yes, they are. Haven't seen a cantaloupe yet. Plenty of male blossoms on there though. And they're right out here in the blazing sun, and that's one thing I've noticed. And I think we're going to have to pay more attention to what we plant, where we plant it, and what time of year we plant it. I fought all the way through the heat wave, and my plants have suffered. They have drooped. The leaves have burned up, even though I have watered, twice a day. Just this severe heat and the extreme drought that we just came through. Now that the drought is broken so far, things have been looking up. But since the rain has been quite a lot for multiple days in a row with no break, disease has become ever increasing problem. And you can see it in the leaves here. Oh yeah, they were having issues, and we had to spray them with H2O2, and it stopped it for now. The leaves don't look so good, but those are the older leaves that were infected. The newer leaves look just fine, which is what we're after. And you can see all the blossoms in there. They're just everywhere. And I'll be really excited when I see that first small cantaloupe. Yeah, that's when you really get excited. It's coming. I have a feeling. But so far over here, the cantaloupes, the acorn squash, and the pumpkins seem to be faring fairly well for the time. And it hasn't got all that much cooler, like I just showed you. Yeah, 2 in the afternoon, 90 degrees. Of course, we were forecast to be 97, 98. Now, that doesn't take into consideration humidity and all other factors to give you what the heat index would be. Not sure what that is, and it really doesn't matter. Yeah, we got to do some more burning. It's an every month thing. Now, as you know, I planted my last cantaloupe plant up here, right here in the virgin dirt. Actually, it's where I used to have all my compost piles, all along this fence. And it seems to be faring well, taking off, starting to vine out. We're going to let it grow up the fence too. It'll look pretty, if nothing else, just like this one's starting to. Cover up the whole fence. These are cantaloupes as well. Climbing all over the fence, made it all the way to the top, and heading off to who knows where. And it's all in this here terracotta pot. So far they've been thriving. And they too had some type of leaf disease. We sprayed them, and for the time being, we're not having any more. But in all truth, I sprayed all my plantings once a week with the H2O2 hydrogen peroxide, 12 tablespoons a gallon. If things are really serious, I might kick that up to 16. But you got to be careful or you'll burn your leaves. That's fact. But it's looking nice. Of course, you know, there's a greenbrier right here. Nothing affects it. Drought, anything. If those genetics could be put into our veggie plants, woo, that'd be awesome. Our garlic chives that have gone wild throughout the yard, even though I mow over them, they're everywhere back here. You can see them out through there. All through here. And here they are here. These I spared with the mower the last time. And if you want a mild garlic flavor for salads, to top, you know, dishes like spaghetti, casseroles, or what have you, you just finely dice them up. Make your dish up, don't cook it with it. Then when you serve it, sprinkle a little on top. You'd be amazed at the subtle garlic flavor. Of course, you can always throw them in cooked dishes too, like soups, stews, and casseroles. And occasionally, like now, I'll break off one and just chomp it on down. Gives me that little light garlicky flavor in my mouth. You'll have to pardon the garlic breath, but such is life. But yeah, once they go wild out in your yard, you can indeed mow them over and they'll continue to flourish, as you can see here amongst the weeds. They're all up through there. And I still haven't figured out what this is. I used to know, but now my memory evades me. But they are beautiful. Look at those flowers. They're tiny. I'm thinking this may be a type of latania. I'm thinking. But I still haven't looked it up. Those flowers look similar to what my latania puts out, even though it hasn't this year. The only year it's never bloomed. But we got more cantaloupe stuck over here in this bed. We got another one over here hiding. Yep, it's trying to keep hiding under the giant zucchini squash plant. It's a big plant. This one here, cantaloupe, has finally escaped out from under it. Look at how big that zucchini is. And it looks so nice. And it was suffering. At first it had a little bit of a potassium deficiency, as you can see on the yellow border of the leaves. Then the powdery mildew tried to jump on it, but I got it quick and sprayed it. But no zucchini yet. There's one down in there, there's a couple down in there. But the blossoms haven't opened up yet. We're still waiting. See, there's one right there. There's another one right there. Yeah, there's one there that didn't open up and it's shriveling up. You see? Shriveling up, wrinkling. And that blossom has not opened. So we got the same situation going here as we do on our yellow crookneck squash. As you can see, we've been watering. The ground is really moist. That's not an issue. And it's not a lack of pollination because the blossom hasn't opened yet. I was hoping our zucchini wouldn't have the same issues sitting over here in partial sun, partial shade, but it appears it is. We're going to have to look deeper into this problem. And we have our failures too. We had planted some burpee, sugar baby watermelons. They didn't come up. Seed was from 2020. That was our second time we've tried, and they didn't come up. Then we took some seed from 2020 from Haas Tools for Walton butternuts. Yep, this time it was from Haas Tools. And we tried planting them, and they didn't come up either. So yeah, I have my failures. And I'll show them to you. For whatever reason, the seed didn't make it. And it isn't all that old. 2 seasons. And it's done. I've had other seed that came from other places that has been older, that has germinated. Not saying, you know, it was Haas's or Burpee's fault. It is just what it is. I'll have to look through my seed, because a lot of you send me a lot of seed, and see if I have any other Walton butternut seed or watermelon seed. I'm sure I do. I got a lot of seed from all of you. And I'll plant some more. Trying again, as they say. But now we're looking at, in the background there is our last remaining gypsy pepper plant. And we're going to be picking these. I keep saying that, but I was hoping they'd change colors. But if you look on their little tag, yeah, gypsies can be red, orange, or yellow. And these are looking like they're going to be yellow. So we're going to have to get them on off there. And this particular pepper plant is starting to form up some new peppers. There's one right there. Has yet to fall off. We got some more here. So we're hoping, but it's also got its issues. And I'll show you right here because it's about to fall off. It too is suffering from that there bacterial leaf spot. We keep spraying, trying to keep it at bay. Like I say, it's not viral or fungal. It's actually bacterial. And you can look it up on old Mr. Google too, if you'd like. But yep, starting to form up some peppers. The new growth is looking better. So I'm hoping she'll continue on. The green bell peppers, as you can see, we'll just back up. They're looking mighty fine. They've dealt with the bacterial pepper leaf spot a lot better than the lunchbox and the gypsies. They're still losing some of their older leaves, which is natural. But I'm not seeing the leaf spot so much as affect these. And that's something else to know. Which varieties perform better in your local area? Some will perform better than others. Some that can be grown up in, you know, my family's home states, Pennsylvania and New York, they won't even make it down here in the deep south. They won't even try. But let me show you something. I just spied it, or maybe y'all seen it before I did. I've been waiting for a green pepper. Let me show you. See it right there? Finally. We've got a pepper. It does appear we got some more right on in there. And I'm sure in other places. So our perseverance, as we discussed in a previous video, seems to have paid off. Maybe we're not have a bumper crop. Who knows? A lot of growing time left. But we definitely, looks like, we'll have peppers. And I'm happy, because I put in the work. I'd hate to just grow pretty plants and not have any peppers. But they are looking mighty fine. Yeah, the bugs are munch on them. I keep looking for them, can't find them. Come out at night, me, Spooky, Mr. Gray, Cleo, can't find them. They must wait till I walk off and jump back on them from the trees above. But let me show you something here. Yeah, I know. You're marveling at how lovely the green peppers look. But look down here in the dirt below. You can see the little green coming up. See that? Now I'm sure you'll recognize those as onions. All coming up. They look a little funky. And if you notice the top, look like they've been sort of trimmed off. Well, not yet, but they were. Where'd these come from? Well, they came from superfoods originally. Then they went into my refrigerator. Then I cleaned them up, cut the bottoms off, about the last 1/4 inch to 3/8. Put them in a Ziploc bag till I had enough to think about planting. And I brought them out here and stuck them in the ground. Yeah, these are green onions, or as I prefer to call them, spring onions, that I purchased from Superfoods. And I know you'll see thousands of videos all over the internet of people doing that. Cut off the end of the onion, bring it outdoors, stick it in the ground, and it grows. Well, I'm not sure about all onions, but I do know the green onions, non-bulbing type, will definitely grow, and that's what's growing here. And if you'd like to see just how simple and easy it is to do, if you don't know, I can show you on another video. Just let me know in the comments below this video. But it's so easy, and there's millions of videos already. I got some more I've got to trim up, clean up tonight. And I'll be putting them out in the next day or two. Because I think I got enough to warrant planting. I think I got 24. Now I love my green onions. And like I said, this bed is normally my onion and herb bed. We cleared all that out this year. And as you can see what we put in it. So yeah, we're going to have some green bell peppers. We got some gypsy peppers. This little lunchbox over here struggled. It's had the leaf spot. It's had mosaic. I'm still worried about that. Still seeing a little touch of it right there. I keep spraying this one. And the new growth here, for now, looks clear of it. It's lost a lot of leaves. It's getting a little naked down below. It's got some new leaves coming back. We'll just have to see how little lunchbox orange makes it through the remainder of the year, if indeed it does. But those Bonnie Bells, they've been a real trooper this year. Through the drought and through the heat wave, as you can see. But a black cherry tomato, oh yeah, it's way up here now. In fact, it's over my head. We're going to have to think about what we're going to do to allow it to continue to grow higher or bend over and grow to the ground. And it's had its issues, mostly blight and leaf spot. And here again we sprayed it with H2O2, reoccurring theme, I know. And we had to hit it pretty hard, and that's where you're going to see these leaves look totally roasted and toasted. Yeah, we hit her heavy with the H2O2, hydrogen peroxide spray. We hit it with 16 tablespoons per gallon. Drenched the plant totally wet because it was rather polluted with the blight. And what you're seeing is what's left of the leaves. It fried them. Of course, it fried the blight too. And it's still continuing on. And that was, today being Thursday 21st, we did that not this past weekend, but the week before. So this has been about nearly a week and a half since I hit it with that strength of 16 tablespoons per gallon. But as you can see, the tomatoes have survived. There's some more right here. As we move up through, you're going to see more and more and more and more here. And more blossom racks are forming up above. But this little rinky-dink poles and plastic supports that makes a cage, as you can see, big wind going to take her down. I'm going to have to drive a fence post in, take some zip ties and attach it to it, or this whole thing will come down in the next big wind, and that would be a tragedy after all the time and effort that I've spent with her. But that's pretty much what we got going on in the little old raised bed. See you all in here. What I was telling you about the garlic chives. There they are. They're all throughout back here. See a little circle of them right there. In the chamber bitters. Another spurge of the South. I forget how we got them, but I'm sure it was some person that thought they'd be a good thing, and they've turned out to be just another invasive species. I can't find anything good about chamber bitters, and they will take over your entire yard here in the deep South. And so far there's nothing you can do but use herbicide. And that's just not something I'm willing to do for them. Hey, they're green. If you don't get up close on them, you might think they were grass. It'll be okay. And yes, I'm eating the garlic chive. And here we stuck in our last pumpkin. One of the 4 we had. Right over here where we dump a lot of our scraps, vegetables that get by us, you know, in the house. Sprouted potatoes, tomatoes go bad, pepper, you know. Yeah, that all happens to me too. You think, you know, you just put it in there the other day, and then you go open the crisper drawer and it's grown hair. Yeah, it happens to me too. Not very often, but occasionally. You can see some of it right over there, wasting food. But I do have a groundhog, George, that, you know, we've got this here gentleman agreement. He eats this and leaves all the rest for me. So, hey, it's not going to waste. And George actually likes fresh veggies, potatoes especially. But, you know, he won't turn down a good pepper or tomato. Now right here is another one of those Haas Tools Table A squash. It was the last one we had from the 6-pack. Really didn't have a place to put it, so we stuck it in the ground here. And it's doing mighty fine. I am seeing some nutrient deficiency, as you might see too. Its leaves are just not quite as dark green as those over in the tire planter. So that's telling me there's a little bit of a nitrogen deficiency right here in this spot of the yard where I dug the hole and put it. And it's getting ready to start blossoming. You can see them down forming up below. So this Sunday, when we normally feed our plants, we'll hit her with a high nitrogen fertilizer. Green her up some, we will. I'm sure she'll be happy. Our shih-tzu, I guess that's how you say it, pepper plant that we've never grown before, It's looking pretty healthy. It had a little bit of issue with the bacterial leaf spot, and we hit it with the H2O2 hydrogen peroxide spray and killed it right off. Of course, it's on the spraying program, weekly spraying to keep it at bay. But overall, you know, it's getting to form up a lot of little bitty blossoms. One's actually bloomed right there. So I'm thinking we'll get a lot of peppers. I'm not seeing any nutrient deficiency, not seeing any other disease vectors or issues. A lot of new growth. So I'm hoping. I haven't ever eaten or ate, however you may say, Shih pepper, but I'm looking forward to it. You know, if you have, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below the video. So now we're up here at the old clothesline pole planting. And our beans, Kentucky Wonder, Rattlesnake Cross, they've grown all the way up to 8-foot poles. They're just getting all entwined and matted up there, and they're growing back down, left, right, everywhere. And they're looking fine. Some of the older leaves, as will be the case with beans, turn yellow because they're shaded and they're just getting old. Don't see no disease yet. I trim them off or pluck them off, because I found by trimming off your yellowing leaves, it keeps spurring the plant on, and new growth will come out from places where you've done that. I've seen that every year, and I've showed it in other videos. But now we're seeing a lot of blossoms. Here's some nice yellow ones. You'll see some white and yellow right up here. Somewhere up in there you'll see some of those lavender purplish ones. So hey, it's like a tricolor beans. Yeah, and I'm sure that's all because of the crossing. Some are showing the traits of the Kentucky Wonder, some are showing the traits of the rattlesnake. And the more I think about it, since that year I was actually growing 4 different types of beans. I was growing the Kentucky Wonder, rattlesnake pole beans, Bloomhilde, and Emerald. So these could actually be a hybrid of all 4. Who knows? I'll never know. But they are tasty and extremely juicy. That's why I continue to grow them, in hopes of stabilizing the variety. Yeah, I have my very own bean variety to leave for humanity. That would be great. Oh, I just saw it. Did y'all? Maybe you did. Looky there, right there. Woo, first bean sign. That is the first. I'm so glad I had all of y'all with me. We've seen some firsts today. Fantastic. These celebrity tomato plants have now outgrown the poles. The last time I string them, which will be tomorrow, they'll just run out of pole. So we'll have to do some extensions, I'm thinking, this year. Still been getting caterpillars on them. Some more of those tobacco hornworms, or as many of us call when they're on our tomatoes, tomato hornworms, even though scientifically speaking they're not an actual tomato hornworm, because there's another variety or species that they call a tomato hornworm. It looks almost identical except on the side. The tomato hornworm has chevrons on the side, and the tobacco hornworm has slashes. Other than that, and I think their horns are different colors. One's red, one's the other color. And you look in there, there's another moth fluttering around, if you saw it. trying to lay its eggs on my tomatoes. But when I was out here watering earlier this morning, I found several caterpillars munching away, and they had to go bye-bye. Yeah, I'm trying to get some tomatoes here. Now, if somebody will send me a video clip of them farming caterpillars and frying them up, making them tasty and eating them, now I might consider saving them and putting them somewhere. Until that time, they have to go away. And we've been fighting the leaf spot, fighting the blight on these tomato plants as well. And we've been trimming the lower leaves as they succumb to it. And we're holding it at bay. You've heard me say that many times today. That's all you can do. We still got some tomatoes that none of the caterpillars have yet to find. Oh, I say that. Nope, that ain't a hole from a caterpillar. That's just a hole from nature. It's where it just didn't quite pollinate perfectly. And there's some more tomatoes off in there. But as I've looked up through the canopies of these, I must admit, even though there's been plenty of blossoms, we're still having the issue with blossom drop rather than setting and forming fruit. Not to say there isn't some up in there. Now, some people brought up, well, aren't these rather thick? And everybody says you got to space them out, you got to trim them all up, you want good airflow. Yeah, all that's great stuff. And it can help to limit your disease. But what I've noticed with people who do all of that is they still have disease. It all depends on where you live. I mean, this is deep south. And if you chop on your tomatoes to where you just got one bare stem with fruit hanging off of it, you'll have fried tomatoes. That's fact. But back when I commercially grew, and even before I gave it a try, I went and visited several commercial growers in places like Florida, California, you know, people who do it for a living. And they're not out there trimming their tomato plants. They don't got 6 feet between them. They're not single stemming them. A lot of times they don't even stake them. Some do, some don't. And they get plenty of tomatoes. Yes, they do. But you can just see here on this leaf, the dark on the stems. That's blight. But instead of black, it's brown. Brown means the blight is dead. Black means it's growing. So yeah, it don't look pretty. But for the time being, it's not growing. And the plants are. And I'm still hoping to see plenty more tomatoes before the season ends. But you'll see it as I see it. And rightfully so. If I would have wanted to tear up more ground, I would have spaced them further apart. But I didn't. And you got to work with what you got and what you did. But if you want to put 6 feet between your tomato plants and everything, you go right ahead. If you want to do single stem wherever you are and it works out good for you, go right ahead. I've tried it for the deep south. It came with other problems. You see, here's the thing. The viruses, the fungal diseases and bacterial diseases, yeah, they reside in our soil. More so in the deep south than the further north. And I asked that question on my last garden walkabout. And I got the answer. Like up in areas of Canada, they don't see what I'm seeing. And they never have. Same way in Alaska. And that makes total sense. The different viruses, funguses, and bacteria just can't survive the temperatures during their winters. See, I mean, we rarely get into the 20s. And when we do, as you've seen, it's a big event for the deep south. Remember Texas? Power grid failure? Yeah. And the crepe myrtles are still blooming. I've really been amazed this year. They bloomed for what seems longer than I can remember. Here again, providing us with not only beauty, but a ray of hope in the future to come. But our fourth pumpkin plant is right over here at the edge of the bamboo forest. Why? For no other reason than I wondered how fertile this soil was. And I wanted to see if I could train it to run right along the edge of the bamboo forest. We'll see. Wouldn't it be grand if I had a lot of pumpkins and I could just give them away, you know, to the kids and families that couldn't afford one or wanted one? Because you never know these days. I've seen people that I knew could afford their food. I knew the houses they lived in, the vehicles they drove, and the clothes they wore, and how snooty they acted. And I would see them in line down at our local food pantry. I wasn't there for the food. I used to be one of the ones that boxed it up and bagged it up and handed it out. Yeah, you can imagine the look on their face when they came down the line and seen me standing there. Yeah, later at work or Walmart, Superfoods, or someplace, we'd bump into each other. Yeah, Tom, could you keep it on the down low? Yeah, they were there getting food, so they could spend their money on other things. I've always had an issue with that, but we're going to head her on down here. You're going to see a special something there, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. We'll go down here and look at another healthy planting before we talk about the devastation. And here we are at another cucumber planting, intermixed with our Clemson okra. And these are the pickle bush cucumbers by Haas Tools. And they're now approaching over my head right here. And these on this side have finally broke through the tops of the okra. Yeah, we got companion planting going here. But they're looking fine. And I thought earlier, oh yeah, see? They're starting to form up some blossoms too. Yeah, male. But the females will come. And if we can get enough pickles, you know, cucumbers, we're going to make some pickles. Well, let me show you something here. I saw this just a day ago. Let's get in here. See right there? That is our very first okra, with more blossoms to come. One here is about ready to flower. So we're going to get some okra, along with what looks like cucumbers. So hey, my little experiment here, will cucumbers and okra grow together? Well, the answer so far is obviously yes. The okra shades the ground, which keeps it cooler and moister, as you can see down there. And during the drought conditions and the heat wave, that's a good thing. Keep that sun off that ground. Keep your soil temperature down. Lower soil evaporation. All those good things. Yeah, you can put mulch down, but why not a living shade cover that produces something too, like okra? It's looking fine. Now, I'm happy with this plant. But now I'm going to show you one of our not so successful plantings. Yeah, you can see it. All yellow, brown. Leaves are drooping and dying. Yeah, that would be my burpless hybrid cucumbers here. Now, I've grown them in the past and they've done fine. This year, no. They were looking fine. And then powdery mildew jumped on them. Now, I may have been a little bit late getting to it, but I did my spray. Then I came back and even put on a preventative of copper fungicide. Yep, and I've sprayed them again. I even sprayed them with aspirin solution because people say that triggers the plant's immune system. Well, I'm a little doubtful on that, but I figured, what the heck? I got plenty of aspirin. Give her a shot. Well, that was over a week ago, and I don't think these cucumbers understood the aspirin was a good thing for them. Said grind them up in powder, put it in water. Think, 3,000 milligrams, if I remember, per gallon. Yeah, I sprayed them good too. They were soaked. And maybe it has worked. Maybe that's why they're still hanging on. I've got a nice cucumber here to pick. I picked another one this size yesterday. There are plenty of small ones still on here, as you can see right here. And there are others. Some of the new growth is looking better. You know, there's no sign of the yellowing and looking like this anymore. Some still has some of that. Not sure if it did when I sprayed everything I sprayed. H2O2, copper fungicide, and then later aspirin. Yeah, over the last week these got hit with everything but a nuclear weapon. Better not say that. You know, the peepers have been saying that's just any day, any second, any 48, any 72 hours now since February 24th. Thank God their predictions have not come true. But yeah, there are plenty of small cucumbers on. We're going to see. Here's some new growth right here. Look at it. Now that's just simply looking beautiful. So maybe everything we did, the H2O2, then hitting it with the copper fungicide, which you can see some of the blue right there, that has yet to be washed off in the rain. We gave it a good mulching of, at the time, 10 inches of leaf clippings to keep the soil moisture up. Now we did have it all the way around the vines and got to thinking that's not good. You know, the ground can't breathe, so I raked it back. And the soil is moist. There's a light layer, but the soil's nice and moist. This leaf ain't gonna make it. You can see it's just slap burn up. Some of that's from the intense sun, some of it's from the disease. And if I had to guess what these had, not that it matters, the way the leaves have yellowed, it wasn't the progression of the powdery mildew. I think I beat it. But this might be anthrax or cucumber mosaic virus. One of the two, I'm thinking. And if they'll pull through it, like here's some more nice vibrant green growth, and I'm seeing more of that on the ends of the vine tips. Yeah, we'll see. Then I'll just have to figure out which did it. Was it the H2O2? Then I applied the copper fungicide, which is more of a preventative than a cure. I mean, it will cure some funguses, not viruses or bacterial, like the H2O2 will. And then the aspirin, maybe it made them turn on a switch to fight the disease. I'll just be amazed if these come back through and survive. Never know. They're looking pretty janky right now, as the youngins would say. I must admit, they're looking pitiful. But the fact that they're still living, it's 90 plus degrees in the shade where they are now, 71% humidity, who knows what the heat index is. Hey, they're doing all they can. And I'll do what I can to get them through. Still a lot of blossoms coming on. So they're trying. And let me tell you something. Those cucumbers are darn right tasty. And like I say, the crepe myrtles. Yeah, what is this? Second and third week they've been blooming? Maybe they've bloomed that long in the past. I just can't remember. I'm thinking not. And here we are at the fig. And we have figs everywhere. Still none to eat. But we got plenty coming on. Hopefully the birds will share. Oh, look at this. Look at those mushrooms. Quite unique. And if you haven't read up or researched, the connection between soil health and mushrooms, mycelium, you might want to. They say, and studies have shown, and there are millions of articles that say, having a healthy mycelium, mushroom, fungi, in your soil benefits your plants. See, the mycelium breaks down the organic matter into nutrients the plants can use. Yeah. Oh, that sun's starting to come back out. It's been partly cloudy, partly sunny. I prefer the partly sunny to the partly cloudy. And wherever that sun hits your bare skin, it tends to start burning. But here's my Latania. And in years past, you've seen it just covered in blossoms of oranges, pinks, lavender. Yeah, it's a multicolored one, it is. But it died back again last winter all the way to the ground. Once again, I didn't think it'd come back. And it did. That's 2 winters in a row it's died all the way back. Before that, it never did. But it has yet had a blossom that I can find. And I know from some comments from some of the viewers in our community, theirs are doing the same. That's strange. Do the plants know? Something we don't. But when it does blossom, and it's all covered, yeah, the hummingbirds, they love this plant. And I love watching them from the steps of the front porch. Well, it does appear we got a wind blowing coming in from the southwest. Mockingbirds standing up on top of the stop sign, mouth gaping open. But they got water in the bird bath. I make sure. In fact, once y'all head her on down the road, I think I'll clean out their water pan and give them some more. So that's pretty much the state of the gardens and the little old home place here in my part of the deep south of Alabama. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the walk with me. And if you would, and if you'll take some time, let us all know how your garden fares. And it doesn't matter, are you growing it in pots, raised beds, or in the ground? Or maybe on the counter, in the kitchen. Yeah, the microgreens, bean sprouts. I'm going to be doing some of that this winter. Because not only are they tasty, they're ever so nutritious. Well, I'm sure all the kiddies are somewhere, huddled up in the shade, taking their midday siesta. I think I'll do that too. And hey, maybe you will too. Nothing wrong with a midday nap. So y'all, I'm gonna head her on in, cool down for a bit. Maybe take that nap, fix a sandwich. Yeah, get ready for the afternoon. Yeah, we'll be giving a little bit more water to the plants before we call it a day and heading on in. But until the kitty crew, you know, Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, Mr. Gray, Magoo, sometimes Heathcliff, and a little bit Gracie too. See y'all in that next video. Y'all stay safe, take care, and God bless you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. Yeah, time to go. It's toasty out here. And I'm damp. Let's take a break. Oh, I almost forgot. I was going to show you the cucumbers that I picked a couple of days ago. Now, I've already ate several out of these bags. Yeah, you just have to believe me on that one. But in this bag, there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. This is the bag I've been eating out of. Over here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there's still 14. When I brought them in the house, I had 20. And that's just from a couple of days ago. These are primarily from the 3 plants, cucumber plants, that are on the south side driveway bed. And I think there was 3 from the northeast cucumbers. The ones that are looking pretty sad right now. But anyway, there's 14 more. And guess what we're having tonight? We're having another cucumber dish. Yeah. And I'm thinking, if some of y'all stop by, I'll show you how to make it. And I'll share some with you. So anyway, like promised, there's our bountiful harvest, or what's left of it, from a couple of days ago. And there'll be less of it after tonight. Yeah, and I've been snacking on, you know, just as cut them up, a little bit of salt and pepper, less salt, more pepper, snacking on them. Yeah, great for rehydration. Anyway, y'all take care, stay safe, and God bless you till we see you again on the next video.